welcome to the Standpoint. Yes, today is one of the programs. You know, when I add the article, you know that it's going to be exciting because I am already excited about it. My guest today is one of the one-on-one sessions that we are having this year. The last time I saw her was about 11 years ago. I don't know if she remembers where we met the last time, face to face, and the conversation we had. But I tell you, as my father-in-law, KSM, will say, I kid you not, she is one heck of a woman on the move. Some of us remember her in our local movies. Now, where she is, what she's doing is amazing. She's making Ghana proud. She's making Ghanaian women proud. And we need to hear her story. So you and I can be motivated, inspired, and encouraged to move ahead and believe in ourselves that we can also move on as women. We can be on the move and achieve greater things. Hello again and welcome to the Standpoint. My name is Gifty, Auntie, and let me say thank you to GTP for my cloth. Today my dress is by Chic Collection. And Shika Geoglavy is the brain behind it. My hair is by Duffy's Hair. Now you know where to find them. And then, of course, makeup products by Paba Cosmetics, applied by Makeup and More. We take a break. When we come back, we meet the woman on the move. Again and welcome to the Standpoint today. If you just joined us, yes, we are going to talk to a woman who is on the move. In fact, I can say she's a young woman who is on the move, and she's done so much within quite a while. But is her story the same as the glory we see? Let me say thank you to Wilma Africa, producers of Frito Cooking Oil. They also produce Fortune Rice. Fortune Rice comes in 3 types, and you can identify them by the packaging. The green package one is good for the soft dishes, Omutuo rice water. The orange package one, excellent for wache. And then the white package one is excellent for jollof rice and then fried rice. We say thank you to African Women's Development Fund as well. Remember, this program is aired on ABN TV, which is on Sky Channel 235 across Western Europe, parts of Canada and Asia. Our website, www.thestandpoint.com.gh, is powered by Dream Oval. Get to our YouTube channel and watch all the programs you've missed. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Yes, my guest today, well, I don't know who in Ghana doesn't know her, but she's Juliet Asante. Good to have you on the Standpoint.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
So what are you up to?
You know, this is, and I'm saying this for the first time on this show. Yeah. I mean, education is something which is very close to my heart.
Yeah.
And so for me, over the years, I've been thinking about what kind of interventions that I could have in the short term. And myself and my team with my foundation, we just decided that we are going to build schools in container schools in communities.
Oh, wow.
And this is a social intervention, so we are asking people to contribute and all of that. And we would put up a container, in a community and stock it, and young people can go there to read.
Right.
Because for me, I mean, growing up, reading was what, I used to read Mills and Boons and all those stories.
Exactly.
And it was great. And so I think that the reading culture is kind of slipping a little bit. And what can we do to bring it back? It makes a lot of difference.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm up to now.
I have goosebumps because it's amazing how we have so much in common. I started a Wood and Soil reading project.
Yes.
Also trying to set up libraries in rural communities and all that.
Actually, maybe we could even do something together.
Exactly. We will. We will have to. And then the last time I met you, I don't know if you remember. I mean, we've been chatting. I see you at programs and all that. But the last time we actually had a chat was about 11 years ago. GBC by the fish pond.
Yeah.
Remember what we talked about?
I did.
You had traveled, you brought me a purse, which I still have.
Yeah. You do?
I still have that purse.
Wow.
Yes. And we talked about having a show for women.
Yeah.
You, Nana,
Yeah.
Hima,
Yeah.
Awendo, and
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
And then
yeah.
you vanished.
Did I?
Yes.
You've been busy yourself, and you've been amazing. I know I'm the guest and you're supposed to be interviewing me,
Yes.
but I mean, let me just, take the time to say that I've also watched your progress, and it's been phenomenal. You're a phenomenal woman.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I remember the first time I spotted you in a movie. I've forgotten the title of the movie, but what freaked me out, I've always been a rebel. You were riding a motorbike.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
I remember.
You were on a motorbike.
I remember.
With Irene.
Yeah. Pascaline Edwards. And yeah. And I actually won an award for that movie. Actually, that's the movie that got me the best, Best Actress Award for 2001 it was. That movie was directed by Veronica Kwashi, another strong woman director.
Yes.
Yeah, and the only thing I couldn't continue, though, I wish I could have continued my motorbike,
But did you really ride it?
I did. But just after that, actually, after that set, I found out that I was pregnant with my daughter. And so I couldn't continue my, my riding sprees. But I think I've forgotten how to ride now.
No.
But it's something I will do
just
when I'm 50.
out.
Yeah.
Seeing a young woman on a motorbike ride, I was like, yes. I don't think I had seen anybody on a motorbike. And you know how our movies, the good old days movies, were so real and make believe, so you can find yourself in it. And, but it's been a great.
It has been. It's been quite a journey, and many people have contributed to that journey, and I've had many contributions in my life through that journey. Yours being one of it. We've had conversations over the years. It's interesting how we get out of touch, but then we meet again and we pick up right from where we left off.
Exactly.
And it's good to see the progress that we've made. Yeah.
Do you know where are you coming from? Who is Juliet Asante?
Asantewa, Asante.
Asantewa.
Asantewa.
Oh, okay. Now I do understand.
Yes.
There's a Asantewa in there.
It's Juliet Asantewa Asante, which is interesting because I'm not an Asante. To have a full Asante name like that, I'm from Akwemufie actually. I have Akwemufie and
your
then
people
want
to kidnap me.
We've already kidnapped.
Sometimes I forget I'm a fancy.
We've already kidnapped you. You're not aware yet. Yeah, and so the story is interesting because my grandfather was called Asante, and my father wanted to name me after him.
Okay.
And so, of course, then it's Yasantua because he was Asante, and I was born on a Thursday. And so Juliet, that's how it happened. But it's a name that I'm so proud of.
Exactly.
Obviously, Yasantua herself is a woman that I think we need to celebrate more as a country. And I'm doing my bit. Actually, this project, school project we're doing, is the Yasantua project. So it's interesting.
Okay.
Now to your question, who is Juliet? That's a question I'm still trying to answer myself because I don't think that at any one point anyone can kind of be at the space where you have the full picture of who you are until you get to the end of your journey. And so it's an evolving journey. But definitely there are a few things that stand out for me. My social, enterprises are important for me. Where I came from, where I'm going, the people I've met, the interventions I can make, the challenges I've had, the countries I've lived in. For instance, I grew up in Liberia, which was, very interesting. My family was at one point caught in the war, which was interesting for me. I was very sick when I was in Liberia for a while. I couldn't walk. And that was also interesting for me. Coming back to Ghana, getting into a different culture, and at a point moving out of Ghana to live outside a little bit abroad and go back to school and all of that. So it's been quite a journey, and I think I've had quite a bit of multifaceted as well. Apart from being in film, in front of the camera, I've been behind the camera. Actually, my profession is actually behind the camera.
You're a product of NAFTI.
I'm a product of NAFTI, yes. But then I'm also a product of Cape Coast University.
Okay.
And a product of New York Film Academy.
Yeah.
And a product of
We'll
the
come
Harvard
and talk
Kennedy
about
School.
the New York Film Academy, because you vanished, I think, after our conversation by the pool. You vanished for a while. The next thing I read about you was you had completed, the New York Film Academy, and you were doing some project with some Hollywood kind people.
Right,
and
right.
I was just wondering, but how was it like growing up? The family.
The
How many
family.
are you in a family? How many siblings you have?
I have only one brother,
Okay.
by the way, and I have three sisters.
Okay.
And then and so that's the family size. Both my parents are still alive. Growing up, again, to say, it was interesting because I was growing up in a different culture. My dad is a teacher. Had been a teacher. All his life was a teacher, but at some point got into a businesswoman.
Where the interest in education comes in.
I guess. My mother also was a teacher, taught in Liberia as well.
Okay.
So I come from a family like that. My grandmother actually was amongst the first Ghanaian police women in Ghana. Yeah. And then she kind of stepped out of that and then became a businesswoman. Okay. And that's how she went to Liberia. And that's how the core family followed her into Liberia. Yes,
oh, okay. So, so your grandmother went to Liberia.
It was my grandmother.
And then by both parents are Ghanaians.
Yes.
Your mother and father.
Absolutely.
That's a good one. But at a point you came back to Ghana.
At a point we came back.
And so you didn't do secondary school here?
I did secondary school here, actually. So when I came, I was very young. I was 13. So but I sat my common entrance when I was in class 6. So interestingly, during our time, there was the middle school. It's not like now where there's the GSS. So I went to middle school, and so Saito, and then, So I wrote my common entrance, and then
in class 6?
Class 6, yeah.
And yeah, I'm running my mouth that I wrote mine in Form 2. So I think I've done something. Those days you write it at Form 4. I wrote a Form 2, and you wrote it at class 6.
I wrote it in class 6, yeah. So I was jumped. Okay. But that's not such a great thing. I mean, that's a conversation for another time, because there's a gap in my education. Sometimes I'll be talking, especially when it comes to geography and things like that, and I will realize that I don't know something. And recently I was talking to my dad because I had forgotten about that episode. And I was like, there are things I need to know that sometimes I wonder why I don't know. He said, because you missed an entire 3-year block. Yeah, and so then I went to Enum Secondary School. I used to live in Akosomo at that time, so I went to Enum Secondary School. I was a girls prefect there, assistant girls prefect. And then I moved from there and went to Okwapmine Secondary School, where I was a girls prefect, and also was in the drama club, just like Enum. Yeah, and then after that, the story continues.
Wow. Well, you're watching The Standpoint, and yes, I'm talking to Juliet. Ya Asante wa Asante. Well, The Standpoint is also supported by Go-Got Yogurt. I always tell you, as a woman, yogurt is good for you. And if you're going for yogurt, go for Go-Got Yogurt. Ghanaian, homemade, not imported. Well, EcoSpa water is life. And then Veraldo Pear Malt Drink by Casapreco Company Limited. Less sugar. That's what I love about it. As well, House of Foods, Auntie Vera, thank you so much. Cake Technique, Matamis gives us the pot, and Yep Cleaning Services takes care of our environment. We take a break. When we come back, we will continue this moving story. Welcome back to The Standpoint, and thank you to GTP for my cloth. My dress is by Chic Collection, and hair by Duffy's Hair. Makeup product by Paba Cosmetics, applied by Makeup and More. Juliet, it seems growing up, you've been in the leadership position from being, are you the first?
No, I'm the second.
You are the second born,
Right.
okay, but assistant girls prefect, you became this and that. So it's like, has it been a smooth sailing journey for you?
Anything but. Anything but. I mean, first of all, I mentioned earlier on that growing up, I couldn't walk for a while. So I sat in the wheelchair and did everything that went with that. That was a time in my life that had great impact. But I think one of the things that I came out of that experience with is understanding the power of walking, or the power of moving and doing things. And and not sitting still.
Right.
You know, when you've sat still for close to 3 years, you appreciate, the power of your limbs.
Right.
And so, I mean, I've always been one to do things and put my thoughts out there. But it's been a really challenging one. I mean, you're a woman, you know that in our society, I was lucky, and I have a dad or, parents that are very liberal and able to open their hearts and let the children follow their dreams, which was great. At some point, I wanted to do law, but unfortunately, family conditions couldn't allow that to happen. So it's been quite a challenging...
have you given up on that dream, the law dream?
Well, it's not about giving up. It's about... there's one of my favorite poems called The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost that talks about how we get to a point in life and you make a decision, and sometimes you look at the road and you pick the greenest path and you're thinking, I'll get to the end of that road and I'll come back and take this one. But you never get the opportunity to do that. And why is that? Because road leads on to road. Right. And so for me, I went to, when I didn't get into law school, not because I didn't have the grades, but because my family couldn't afford it. I went to Cape Coast University and did BSEC, which was more business oriented. After that, I decided, even though it was a degree course, I decided I wanted to be behind the camera. So NAFTI, which at that time still is under Legon, but is now in recent times becoming a university of its own, but at that time was under Legon. I went back and did a degree course again, so I have two degrees. Yeah, so I got a degree in directing. And then I thought, there are other aspects that I want to pursue. So actually, when I went to the Harvard Kennedy School, I did business MPA, Masters in Public Administration and Policy. And Masters in Public Policy as well. So that kind of took me in a whole different direction. I don't think that given the opportunity, I would be in court practicing. And so for me, it's really a case of a road not taking. And maybe one day I would mentor someone to do, that, but not for me, unfortunately.
Do you believe in the divine intervention?
Absolutely.
And direction, of course.
Absolutely, absolutely. The way things happen in life, I mean, if you kind of open yourself up, nobody you meet is by mistake. And sometimes, I live by the principle that you can see to the end of the road and you prepare as much as possible, but you have to be flexible enough, or else, just like a tree, a tree that doesn't bend will break in the wind. And a tree, even though it looks lanky, but bends with the wind, is more likely to stabilize. And if you're a film student, one of the things that you learn is that you prepare as much as possible. But your ability to let go when you're on set and go with the flow is what really propels you. And as an artist as well, you have to be able to let go of your craft in a way. Because you produce something, you put it out there, and how do people receive it? How do people interact with it? That's where you don't have any control. And so for me, the power of, divine intervention and all of that has been very strong in my life and continues to be.
What was the last time you acted in a movie?
Oh, boy. Well, the last thing I did was Tinsel. I was actually Brenda in Tinsel in the beginning. I stepped away from that to go pursue other things because, after a few episodes, I realized it wasn't for me. So that was the last. That's not to say that will be my last. But up to now, I haven't found something which has been challenging enough. Obviously, I did my own movie, Silver Rain, which is still doing really well.
I was going to come. That was one heck of a movie.
Thank you.
I mean, I really, really love it. And I heard you talk about it on radio, I think on Joy FM, before it was premiered, about how you made your actors live the true life of the of the people whose story you were telling.
Absolutely. Even us as the crew, my entire story with Silver Rain was, I met a girl in the market who I got very interested in. She was from Wale Wale, came from a family of 40 kids, hadn't been to back to Wale Wale since she was 12 or so, had been here for about 5 years at the time we met, and really pretty girl, spoke amazingly well. And so I followed her to Wale Wale. I kind of came up with a deal and said, listen, let me spend 2 weeks with you, and then she wanted to be a fashion designer, so I'll put you in a trade. She agreed, and my entire office, we followed her to Wale Wale, and my God, we were educated. Wow. Unfortunately for me, the story doesn't end really well, because in the end, she said she wanted money, she didn't want the training. We gave it to her. 6 months later, she was raped and got pregnant. And so I just couldn't walk away from that story. And I'm sitting there years and years later, and I'm thinking, what if? And that's what led to Silver Rain. And we are still using the film to raise awareness to the plight of girls in the market. And interestingly, if you watch the film, you realize that a lot of the things that happened in the film have actually happened.
Yes.
So when you say that, and at the time we're doing the movie, or when the time I was writing the story, I had no inclinations that, all of these things were going to happen. So when they say that film is a mirror of society, it really is. And as a filmmaker, one of my core commitments is using film to comment on society and to raise awareness to issues, because I think that as African filmmakers, we can't afford to do entertainment for entertainment's sake. But entertainment can be an amazing vehicle and driver for the messaging that we need to get across, and that's what I'm committed to.
Yeah, we thank God for that. We'll come and look at what you're doing now and where you intend to move on to. But I don't know if you're willing to open up. You've had your own challenges.
True.
Being a mother.
True.
A single mother.
True.
And losing your husband just few years after.
True. Unfortunately, just to correct the fact, he wasn't my husband at the time.
Okay.
We were divorced for about 3 years.
Oh, okay.
But obviously, still the father of my child, and obviously we still had a connection.
Exactly.
We were friends by the time. A lot of people didn't know it, but we were really great friends by the time he passed, and So, but my daughter is a beautiful photocopy of her dad.
How is she doing?
She's doing really well, turning 17 and doing really well.
Serious?
Yes, and actually is very helpful in everything I do now. Very matured. So
Girls are a blessing.
They are.
And how's single motherhood treating you?
Well, I've loved it so far because, I just posted something on my social media, not to have any negative implications, but something about marriage is not an achievement.
It's not.
Unfortunately.
I totally agree.
Yes,
it's not.
Unfortunately in our society, and you have a girl child, and so you come across that more and more.
Yeah.
And you yourself as a woman, I mean, I'm sure you had that experience where it's almost like for a woman, what you should live for is the day you marry. I mean, and I feel that marriage is important. Obviously, we need it for the family to move on.
Yeah.
But we should also, in connection with that, celebrate other things.
Yes.
Celebrate the woman's, independence, being able to take care of herself, contribution to society. And I'm passionate about women, not because I'm a woman, but it's the woman that takes care of the child. I mean, you are in the studio, and I'm happy to say, if your audience don't know, that you are here with your child.
Yeah.
You take breaks and you breastfeed, and that's phenomenal. And so if the woman is not in the right head space, the child suffers, the husband suffers, the family suffers, everyone suffers. And so it's in the interest of the country to make sure that women are empowered. When I was married, it was great. It was great whilst it lasted, until the point where it wasn't no more. And one day I'll tell my story to the fullest. But having the strength to walk away also was important. And so I realized at the point, and in hindsight, it was the best thing I did, that my first responsibility was to my child.
To your child.
And so to have the strength, even when society says no, to walk away from that. And to stay within that space, even when it's most challenging. I think there are many, many women who face that every day and face that, as single parents, and I doff my hat to them. And for me, what worries me is the level that a lot of girls are sinking to, thinking that it's all about their bodies and it's all about getting a guy and it's all about the things that don't matter. When what really matters, I'm happy to say in this room, I see all women in your audience. And what matters is your commitment to yourself and your career and your confidence and your love. You have to learn to love yourself before someone can love you.
I expected an applause. You have to love yourself before someone else can love you. Interestingly, somebody was trying to, Lydia Fulton is she's my niece, but she forgets. She always refers to me as her sister, big sister. And somebody was comparing, telling, look at Gifty Auntie. She's married, she has a child, and she's so calm now. And so I went on Facebook and I said, Lydia, remember before I got married, remember all that was said about me?
Absolutely.
All that was said about me. Suddenly, I've become the perfect woman just because I'm married. Another lady, I think Effie Bat Planch, wrote an article about the Gifty Auntie before the royalty. And she wrote about Gifty Auntie was made long before she got married.
Absolutely.
And indeed, her marriage is news because of who she
was. Exactly.
Before she got.
I agree.
Our young ladies, some of them are forgetting.
Yeah.
And they're just rushing, I want a wedding. I want a marriage I want a man like you, without knowing the full story.
And Gifty, and you are my big sister. I mean, you're older than me in everything. And I give you that respect.
Thank you. 5 years.
Yes.
I need to specify.
I'm catching up, by the time I get there, though, you'll be ahead. So how do I stop time so that when I get there, you're there? And it's amazing because over the years, you have been consistent. You have invested in who you are as an individual. And I think that is what a lot of women forget. And you kind of let go of everything that everyone says and all of that and focus on what is important, And people forget that it took a long time. So before we started, we spoke about talking about a TV program how many years ago?
11 years ago.
So and I'm 43, okay? So, and I started when I was 17. And so the thing is, you see someone and you think they just got there. Gifty has been doing this for years and years and years and years. And I have been doing this for at least how many decades? And so success is not right around the corner. No. So when you hear of overnight success, if you see Gifty and you say this is overnight success, overnight typically is 2 decades. So, that's what I think our young people need to understand. Everybody is in a rush.
The Standpoint is sponsored by Wilma Africa. Wilma Africa produce Vital Cooking Oil. Yes, the 1 meal challenge is still on. They also produce Fortune Rice, which comes in 3 types. The green package one, very good for the soft dishes, rice water, mutuo. Orange package one, excellent for wache. And then the orange package one, my special choice. It's good for jollof because I love jollof rice. Jollof and a fried rice. I thought somebody was laughing, but it's okay. We are also sponsored by the African Women's Development Fund, AWDF. This program is aired on ABN TV on Sky Channel 235 across Western Europe, parts of Canada and Asia. We'll be back. My guest today is Juliet Asante. She's the Chief Executive Officer of Eagle Productions, founding President Black Star International Film Festival, and she's also mentioned her foundation, the Asante Foundation. We'll get back to it, but as usual, let me say thank you to our supporters. Go Got You Got, House of Foods, Eco Spa Mineral Water, Veraldo Pear Malt by Casapreco Company Limited, Lalala Fresh Fruit Juices, Yep Cleaning Services, Matamis, who gave us the pot, and Duffy's Hair for my hair. Also, thank you to Cake Techniques. Now, I'll go to the audience, but I need to ask this before we move on. Juliet, what has been your greatest challenge?
What has been my greatest challenge? Gosh, that's such a deep question.
In your professional life. Okay, let's narrow it down to your professional life.
To my professional life. You see, we live in a community where that doesn't encourage dreaming, or should I say dreamers. And so in some societies, when you have a dream or you have a skill set or you have a passion, there are avenues, that you can tap into, including funding and all of that. Now, when you're at a point where the level of your dream is there's a gap between that and the reality of resources that is available. Of course, humans, there's always limit. The economists will tell you that resources are always limited. So that's true. I'm not arguing with that. But, we still live in an environment that the gap is even bigger. And so for me as a young woman, for me as a Black woman, for me as a woman, for me as an African, these are things I have to grapple with every day.
Let me come to you, my beautiful daughter.
Hello. Please, it is very clear that you've achieved a lot, but I want to ask this question. Have you ever sat down and have the feeling of regrets?
Please, I want to find out, what's your take on the telenovelas being flooded on our screens rather than our own Ghanaian movie?
Do I have any regrets? Very important question. Absolutely. Again, with the road not taking example that I gave, there's some things I wonder. But you see, again, coming back to conversations that keep coming up. I was just having this conversation, and I actually even posted it on Facebook when the list of 100 entrepreneurs came out, standing entrepreneurs. Your name was in there as well.
Yes.
That came out. And for me, my comment that went with my post was, it's important to learn to forgive yourself. And when you get to the point where you accept that you're not God, and mistakes actually is key to your growth. I can hardly mention any success that has led me further. I'm happy and that's it. But my failures have actually been my growing points. And so learning to understand and accept and forgive yourself. We're always talking about forgiving other people. But we never talk about forgiving ourselves. So to get to the point where you say, you know what, I messed up, but okay. Next time I'll do better. And then you move on. I think it's an important exercise for everyone to have, because no one is perfect.
Okay. And then the other one is about telenovelas.
Yes.
Instead of local content.
One of the things I started 2 years ago was the Black Star International Film Festival. The goal of that, for me as a filmmaker, going to film festivals and seeing the value of film festivals to societies and seeing how people come together, learn, connect, learn about what others are doing, engage, do things together, was one of the things that, for me, I thought, why isn't Ghana also having a film festival? Because perchance, if we are exposed like that, if we meet other people, begin to do better. But I am of the view that policy should be passed that makes it imperative for a certain number of, percentage of film or content to come from Ghana.
I think for this year as the woman on the move, and I said that for me, when you said I was flattering you, but honestly, watching you from a distance and knowing you too, I think you're one heck of a woman on the move. Now, in your opinion or view, who is the woman on the move, and what does she need to do to keep going?
The woman on the move is the woman who understands that, you have to somehow balance your life. Most importantly, you have to, within all of that process, take care of yourself. I'm starting from that because with this question is very, most of the time we jump on the bandwagon or we have to do this, we have to keep moving, we have to keep doing it.
Break the glass ceiling.
We have to keep going, But as women, we have to recognize that our success is multifaceted and counted in so many ways that society might take for granted. So a woman who is taking care of a child is incredible work. A woman who is working and taking care of a child is phenomenal. A woman who is beyond that, going into the workplace and also fighting issues around harassment and, pay levels and all of that is also another level. And then you are in a society that continuously puts you down. So for me, the woman on the move is the woman who is able to keep sane in all of this, with all the mess going on around, to keep sane. Because without women as the backbone of a society, the society will collapse.
And in 2018, one of the programs we are introducing, because in July 2018, the standpoint will be 10 years.
Oh my Lord!
Yes. 10 years. Every May is our Women's Month. So this year, 2018, what we are introducing is in May, you will vote your woman on the move. The top 4 will give you opportunity to have a one-on-one program with them. So start watching the Standpoint Facebook page. We'll give you how to go about it. If you vote for Juliet to be your woman on the move for May, we'll beg her, corner her to come back so you can have the opportunity to meet her, to ask all the questions, whether you want to be a director, you want to be a producer, you want to be an actress, you want to be a woman on the anything. I will not be part of it. I will not ask any question. You will ask the question. So it's going to be exciting. And as we bring you women on the move throughout between January and April, we'll give you the opportunity to vote for your woman or choose your woman on the move, and then you can have time with the person. But hey, she's my woman on the move for today. In fact, any day. So we have a special package for her from Wilma Africa.
Wow.
Yes. As a busy woman on the move.
Wow.
We just want you to,
look at that.
Yes, we
There's
give you.
even a frying pan that goes with my shoes.
Exactly. There's a frying pan, there's a cooking pan in there.
My word.
There's an apron in. They have all the 3 types of rice.
Okay.
There's frito, and then they have this new oil called sunflower, Excella sunflower oil. It's also in there. Just prepare a meal for, take a day and have a meal moment and enjoy. Tell my precious one that this one, the first meal is for mommy alone.
Okay.
The second one, you can give her some.
Okay. Absolutely. Thank you so much. I love it.
You're welcome.
I love it. Thank you.
And the first 4 people to get here today, you also get some packages from Wilma Africa. Yeah. We take a break. When we come back, I give you a bit of me. Before I got married, I used to say that marriage is not an achievement. Guess what? After being married, I am more convinced that marriage is not an achievement. It is not an achievement. It's a blessing to be married. Yes, it's great to be married. It's nice. But woman, let me ask you, should the unexpected happen, what have you got to move on with? Can you move on as a woman? Can you stand on your own and say that, yes, despite it all, in spite of it all, I have something to fall back on, to forge ahead? Make sure you know who you are. Make sure that you are an accomplished woman. A woman who knows what she's about before you jump into this thing called marriage. Before you jump into anything. And even as a married woman, what have you got to show apart from your ring? We worship marriage as a society. And trust me, I'm not the one to condemn or to disrespect marriage. No, I love being married. But is that all there is to life? As a woman on the move, what have you got to show for it? And I'm not talking about money. I'm not talking about shoes. I'm not talking about dresses. How much value have you added to yourself? How have you educated and empowered yourself? Let's all be on the move. Hand in hand, helping each other. We will get there one day. The regrets will come. Yes, we all do have regrets. But guess what? We still have life. And once you have life, you have many opportunities. And everything and anything is possible. Because if you're like me, and you have your super crazy faith in God, anything can change at any time. Be prepared. Start wearing your shoes, not physical shoes. Get ready, because this year we are on the move as women. My name remains Gifty Auntie. Thanks for watching The Standpoint. And you know me, my super crazy faith. It's now reaching dizzying heights. Because with him, I know I can weather the storm. I can ride the storm. And he will not let the storm take me away. He's got me covered. Thanks for watching. See you same time next week. Bye for now.